What is up, guys? It's the NJB here, and today I'm going to give you guys kind of like a jetpacker's opinion on Call of Duty World War II. So I'm going to be talking about some things I like about the game, some things I don't, and kind of how overall I'm feeling about it. So let's get right into it. So what I want to say about World War II is that I think it's a good game, and I think it's a solid Call of Duty. Personally, I don't really think that anything in the gameplay is really anything new and nothing to run home about or say that it's like one of the best Call of Duties we've ever had. You could say it is, but in terms of like innovation or changing something that we've already seen in previous Call of Duties, and gameplay wise, I don't really think there's a whole lot different. I think this game is pretty much like just another good Call of Duty. And it's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's like anything that's like super new, anything that you should be super excited for. If you get this game and you've played like pretty much any Call of Duty before the jetpack games, you know what you're getting into. You kind of have an idea of like how maps usually go, how spawns usually are, and that's my opinion on that. And it's not a bad thing, but hey, as long as the Call of Duty is good, in my opinion, I'm gonna play it. So that's that. Now, after playing with jetpacks for basically 3 years in 3 different games, I will admit that this game was a bit hard to get into at first. I was doing good in the beta, but I kind of stopped playing because I have like work in college. So I kind of stopped playing and I kind of got off to a really bad start, or a mediocre start in World War II. I was going negative a bit, but I was able to kind of get used to it and just start doing pretty well. You can see this gameplay. I'm doing okay for, I guess, my skill gap. But I'm doing okay. I'm not doing great, but I do think that this game can take just a bit to get into, like just some time. But once you get used to it, you get like really good at it kind of quick. I mean, the game's just really easy, and I will say it's a bit easier to play than the jetpack games. I mean, it's easier to predict where people are coming from. It's easier just to just get kills on people in like regular mode. And I usually play hardcore because the time to kill is a lot quicker. But in this game, I think I'm okay playing with just regular. So I guess that's core. And while we do have the benefits with it being easier to get kills or games kind of easier than jetpack games, sometimes it does come up like kind of like a cost in my opinion. And that's kind of like the game feels like really repetitive. I mean, I feel like each game I just run to the middle of the map, wait for some enemies to come, kill them, then I just spawn trap them like basically the whole game. And then when the spawns flip, I just do the same thing and do it again. And in Infinite Warfare, which is the game I played practically the previous year or right before this COD came out, I could play, like I feel like each game was like different. I mean, of course, I'd be jetpacking around and wall running a lot, but each game was different. Each encounter was different. You never know which way people are coming, and it kind of builds that unpredictability, and you have to be ready for anything. You always have to make sure that your aim is always right. You have to make sure that you're not just going out in the open, and you always have to make sure you're pre-aiming pretty much every side. And that's kind of different with this game, or not exactly different. I'd say it's a bit slower, but it's not as unpredictable as Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3 was, or even AW with the advanced movements. So that's kind of just one thing that comes with the territory of just being boots on the ground, and it's not really a bad thing. I mean, in my opinion, I don't really care if the cost like has jetpacks or not. It just depends on how the movement works with the maps, in my opinion. But that's kind of like one thing I noticed. Like the game, to me, it feels like really repetitive. Each map I play basically the same way, and the only difference would be usually if I'm going against snipers or shotgunners or not. I mean, that's really the only difference. As for the maps, I like pretty much all the maps in the game except, let's say, St. Mary du Mont and Gustav Canyon. St. Mary du Mont, I don't really know how I just don't like that map. I mean, I feel like every time I play, I just have like a bad game. As I'm getting better with the game, that's kind of changing, but overall, this map is definitely not one I like to keep playing. And Gustav Canyon, I mean, the spawn traps in that map are insane, especially in hardcore. In hardcore, you just get spawn trapped all the time. So that map's probably one that I'm always going to leave the game no matter like how the game is going. Even if my team is winning a lot, I just cannot take that map. It's just really annoying and it's way too big. So those are the only maps I don't like. And I really don't have a problem that there's only 10 maps in the game, because in most Call of Duties, let's be honest, you don't like every single map in the launch game. And out of like, I don't even know how many maps come in like recent Call of Duties, but out of the maps that come, you're only gonna want to play like at least like what, 5 to 8 maps all the time. So having really 10 and most of them are good maps, that's not a huge deal. And in my opinion, I don't really find a problem with them only having that many maps in the game, especially because I know I'm probably going to want to play like similar maps all the time anyway. So I don't have a problem with that, even though I know a lot of people really do, and that's that. And the other thing I want to talk about is the graphics. So in my opinion, the graphics, they're okay. I mean, a lot of people say they're great and they're amazing. I honestly don't know if we're looking at the same game, because to me, the graphics looked really dated. I mean, in Call of Duty, in my opinion, the graphics aren't really like a staple of Call of Duty. I mean, the Call of Duty graphics, compared to other games, it's not necessarily like the best, but they've never really been like bad. And they've never been more realistic. They've always been like just good enough for the game itself. And they do what they do. They keep the game at 60 FPS, and that's a good thing. But I was hoping that we would get something a bit better, and I was just hoping that the game would look a bit more realistic. But that's my opinion. Obviously, most people don't have a problem with the graphics at all, as I get turned on really easily right there. That was so embarrassing. But I know a lot of people don't have much problem with the graphics at all, and that's okay. I mean, if you like the graphics, then you can like the graphics. But in my opinion, I would prefer the graphics are a bit better, especially since other games like Battlefront 2, Rainbow Six, and some other games graphics are kind of like better than Call of Duty, and that's nothing new. I mean, Battlefield has always had better graphics. Battlefront 2, I mean, it's the same by EA, Frostbite, so that's bound to have better graphics. But I do think one thing that needs to change in Call of Duty is the graphics. I think that's one thing that Call of Duty has always kind of been behind on in games. I mean, everything else Call of Duty is better with, like matchmaking, gun balancing. I think Call of Duty's been better, but graphics is something that Call of Duty should really try and improve. But overall, I really like this game. I think it's a good game, and I'm going to be playing it a lot. There are other games I can be playing, but I don't think I'm going to go as far in this game as I did in Infinite Warfare, just because when Infinite Warfare came out, it was kind of the only game I was playing. And with this game, there are other games. I mean, Battlefront 2 is out, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but I'm still going to play it. And I also do have like kind of like other stuff like work and college, so I'm going to see how that fits in, because last year I only had college, and that was pretty much the only other thing stopping me from playing games all the time. So I will have to see how that works out, but yeah. So those are kind of my opinions on World War II. I think it's a solid game, and the problems I had with it, I did say, and honestly there aren't that many. One more thing I do want to add is that snipers, in my opinion, they seem a bit overpowered. So that's another problem I have with this game. Also, incendiary shotguns. I don't like them. I hate shotguns in general, and I did realize that shotguns in this game are, I guess they're weak because I haven't really gotten killed with them, and the only time I do get kills with them are with the incendiary rounds. So I'm gonna assume that base shotguns aren't good, and I'm actually glad because of that, because I hate shotguns more than anything. One thing that ruined Black Ops 3 for me was shotguns. So there's that. So shotguns, snipers, those two maps, and that's pretty much the only problems I have with the game. Other than that, I think it's a solid game, and yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This has been the NJB. This wasn't like a full-blown review. This is kind of just like more like opinions and how I feel about the game. I'm not like used to reviewing games all the time, so that's why the video probably wasn't as descriptive as you guys would have wanted, but it's kind of just like an honest review on like how I feel about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This has been the NJB, and tell me what you guys think about World War II in the comments below if you guys do watch the video, and drop a like if you liked the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, mates.